Accepting or rejecting things is the most basic form of human communication, a part of our primitive survival instinct. When we want something and receive a negative response, we can feel sad and frustrated, because logically, no one likes to hear no. Precisely because of this, knowing that we can frustrate others by denying them a request, we often feel uncomfortable saying no to others, because we know how bad it can feel to experience this rejection ourselves. However, by being afraid to say no, we are not only greatly limiting our way of communicating what we really want or expect, but we can also end up doing things we don't want to do, which go against our will, thus absorbing negative feelings like frustration ourselves. Moreover, when we do things we are unwilling to do, the likelihood is that we will be rude or do it poorly because we are unwilling. And in these cases, the effect of accepting what we don't want ends up being the opposite of what we think. In the universe of interpersonal communication, where every word weighs and resonates, the ability to say no without the need for lengthy justifications is a subtle and powerful art. While it is something very simple, there is also a complexity in this practice that goes beyond simple denial. It's a path of self-discovery and affirmation, where the no rises not as a barrier of rejection, but as a pillar of autonomy and self-respect. In a world that often pressures for conformity, and where yes is seen as the currency of exchange for acceptance and appreciation, choosing not to explain yourself when saying no can seem like an act of silent rebellion. However, it actually means recognizing that your choices, limits, and decisions have intrinsic value and do not require external validation. This kind of behavior can be a manifesto of independence, a declaration that your judgment, intuitions, and feelings are enough. Saying no without explaining is breaking free from the chains of guilt and self-imposed obligation. It means understanding that, as human beings, we have the right to prioritize our needs, desires, and well-being without having to submit to the court of public opinion. By embracing this practice, we uncover a path to more honest and transparent relationships, where communication is based on mutual respect and not on the expectation of complacency or justification. In this video, we will explore how saying no without explaining can transform your way of interacting with the world. We will debunk the myths surrounding this approach and offer insights on how you can incorporate it into your daily life, strengthening your relationships and reaffirming your autonomy. It's a journey towards more authentic communication, where the focus is on your true voice. Watch until the end to understand the moral of this story, and which explains how you can learn to say no without explaining, and how this will never harm your relationships with other people you like, but on the contrary, this technique can even reinforce and improve these important relationships for you. Focus your attention on the content. Please subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Let's go. In a world where assertiveness is often overshadowed by exaggerated courtesy, learning to say no without explaining is a liberating, almost revolutionary skill. Imagine someone kind and always willing to help, living trapped by the fear of disappointing others, believing that saying no was a sign of disrespect or selfishness. Like an artist who uses only soft colors to please everyone, this person avoided the contrast of no in their palette of social interactions. But this reality was exhausting. They found themselves overburdened, taking on tasks and favors that exceeded their personal limits. Like a boat being dragged by unwanted currents, they felt adrift, distant from their own needs and desires. Work, colleagues, neighbors, and friends often made requests that were not reciprocated. This person was trapped in a cycle of giving without receiving, striving to please everyone except themselves. In search of guidance, they sought help from a wise elder in their neighborhood. Sitting together, they shared their struggles, questioning how they could refuse requests without feeling obliged to justify themselves, and how to set boundaries without seeming rude. The wise elder, with a serene look, explained, saying no without explaining is an act of self-respect. It's not a rejection, but an affirmation of your priorities. You don't need an arsenal of excuses to protect your time and energy. Practice phrases like no, thank you, or I can't commit to that. Be clear, direct, but always cordial. This person learned that saying no is like drawing clear boundaries on a map, defining the territory of their autonomy. They began to practice. To the neighbor, they said, I can't take care of your dog this weekend. And to a friend, I can't lend money at the moment. Initially, they feared the reactions, but to their surprise, they discovered newfound respect from others. Some even admired their frankness, like a gardener who learns to prune excessive plants. They discovered the value of taking care of their own garden. This new path was not without challenges. There were moments when guilt and fear visited, whispering old beliefs, but each no said strengthened their conviction. They realized it was not selfishness, but a necessary balance. By putting themselves first, they were not devaluing others. They were valuing themselves. Saying no without explaining is a melody of freedom, they reflected. They learned that by protecting their time and energy, they not only preserved their sanity, but also opened space for healthier relationships and activities that truly brought joy. And in these moments, our people saw their true value. This brief story is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful word we can say is a simple, yet firm, no. Although this content is focused on the power of the word no, it is very important to have good sense and coherence in how to use this power. Therefore, I will extend this subject a little more, so that you have more tools in your personal development arsenal and can make decisions in your life that will attract good things and people around you. Navigating the complexity of human interactions involves the constant balance between saying yes and no. These two seemingly simple words carry significant weight in our lives, influencing our relationships, career, and personal well. Balancing our relationships, career, and personal well-being. Identifying when to say yes and when to say no is a vital skill that helps us live more authentically and satisfactorily. I will give some examples of how you can make these decisions in your daily life. Saying yes is appropriate when it aligns with your values and goals. If an opportunity or request is in harmony with your fundamental values or helps you advance toward your goals, saying yes can be a powerful choice. For example, if you value continuous learning, accepting a challenging project at work can be a yes that promotes your personal and professional growth. Benefits healthy relationships. Saying yes to spend quality time with friends or family, or to support someone in a time of need, can strengthen your interpersonal bonds. This, yes, reflects empathy and connection, essential ingredients for meaningful relationships. Promotes self-care and happiness. If a request or opportunity brings joy, relaxation, or well-being, saying yes can be a form of self-care. This can be as simple as accepting an invitation for an outdoor walk or participating in an activity you love. On the other hand, saying no is crucial when it compromises your well-being or integrity. If a request or situation threatens your mental, physical health or your ethical integrity, saying no is not only appropriate, but necessary. For example, refusing to participate in an activity that contradicts your moral principles or that demands more than you can manage is a no that protects your core essence. Results in unilateral relationships. If you find yourself constantly attending to others' needs while your own neglected, it's time to reconsider and possibly say no. This no is about establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries. Generates resentment or exhaustion. If you notice that saying yes to certain requests or situations leads to feelings of resentment or exhaustion, it's a clear sign that those moments require a no. By refusing, you are prioritizing your energy and emotional resources. In this way, to navigate between yes and no, consider the following strategies. Personal reflection. Take a moment to reflect on how you feel about the request or opportunity. If it evokes negative feelings or anxiety, it might be a sign to say no. Priority evaluation. Analyze whether the request aligns with your current priorities. If it does not contribute to what is important to you at the moment, the no is likely the most appropriate response. Listen to intuition. Often, our intuition gives us clear cues. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Consider the long-term impact. Think about the consequences of saying yes or no. If the long-term impact of saying yes is positive and aligned with your goals, it might be the right choice. Otherwise, reconsider. Ultimately, the ability to say yes and no effectively is a crucial aspect of self-knowledge and assertiveness. By making conscious choices about when to accept or refuse, we are not only managing our time and resources, but also shaping the course of our lives. It's a delicate balance, but with practice and introspection, we can learn to make choices that truly reflect who we are and what we value. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with others so you help us create new content and also spread this wisdom with others. I'll leave here some complimentary content that deepens other related topics. See you soon.